guys missed the cheeses? What's going on, Ben?
Thursday,
Ooh.
October
Ooh.
29th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, October 29th.
1:04 p.m. officially. Second Floor Sports.
Cool. You guys, it's a full moon on Halloween this year?
Man, things were just too good to be true this year, honestly.
It's gonna be it's gonna be very spooky.
No, I'm saying like the dates of the year that like holidays fall on. Like Cinco de Mayo is on a Tuesday, Halloween's on a Saturday. Like,
Is it?
I'm pretty.
On a Tuesday, like a really good thing.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying. It's too good to be true. We're in a fucking pandemic. Like,
Oh, because it's Taco Tuesday, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, like Halloween being on. Imagine like being able to celebrate Halloween to its
New Year's
fullest.
this year, like on like a Saturday or a
I
Friday?
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it lines up
Like,
too perfectly.
yeah,
Why would we ever get like anything nice?
it's too good to be true. Life is so hard. He's been Carlton and Matias Weilmann. Second Floor Sports episode 18, 19, maybe.
18? Probably 18 since we like started counting.
Yeah.
We put up those like 3 or 4 episodes this summer where we like weren't before we really like committed to the bit,
Committed to the bit.
The bit
I
of
saw
talking about sports, like we know what we're saying.
I saw a tweet yesterday. Yesterday was the first day since I think July 22nd that we didn't have any college sports, any NHL, NBA, NFL, MLB, nothing.
I'm so sad we didn't get a game 7.
We had
I'm thrilled obviously that the Rays lost, but like a game if we had a game 7 in the World Series and both LCS rounds, like that would have been so sick.
Yeah.
But
did you
discuss we can't have nice things?
Yeah, no. Yesterday I was watching some Champions League during the day, some soccer, which was nice. Barcelona still sucks. No, you didn't. So yes, I mean, I wanted to ask you because you probably didn't watch any sports yesterday.
No, I didn't actually. Highlights on.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Okay, but did you feel like
yesterday?
Did you feel lost? Like,
or
was it nice? Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say it was nice.
Okay. Because like
I was like, I didn't work out honestly. I was like applying to a couple jobs yesterday. I had class. I was kind of busy yesterday.
I don't believe that for a second.
Do you want me to like send you my applications? You want to read over my cover letters for me? I promise you they're terrible.
No, I'm good, thanks.
Dude, I am so goddamn bad at writing cover letters. Literally every time I write a cover letter, I'm like, I am Ben, please hire me. And I'm just like, I'm looking it over, I'm like,
really imagine someone reading it, you're like, oh, I don't want to hire this guy.
Apparently not.
I'm in my new apartment. I'm living with two roommates. We all have the same job.
Academic Adam Gase. Thank you.
We all we all love sports and everything. And yesterday we were like eating dinner and kind of sitting there, and we were like, so what do we do? And the only thing on was like Orlando FC. And we were like,
yes.
And no, we did not watch it, Ben. But what we did watch was the Trial of the Seven, of the Chicago Seven, with Sacha Baron Cohen. Pretty good movie. I enjoyed it.
That's gotta be a real like mentality switch. You go from watching Borat's subsequent movie film to Trial of the Seven or something.
Yeah, like that's the hard part is that like someone like Nick Kroll, for example, I know him. I know him from his skits online of Bobby Bottle Service.
Well, from the league first and foremost.
No, I had Bobby Bottle Service and him being the referee was before the league, I think, for me.
But for you, I was about to say the league.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
It's like an older show.
No, and then the league, and then now Big Mouth.
And also from him walking like 5 feet away from us when we went to what was the name of that comedy club?
Comedy Store.
The Comedy Store, right?
Yeah.
Literally walked 5 feet from us. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So I know him from that. And then when I was in Israel with my mom, we had seen a trailer for this really good movie on when they captured Adolf Eichmann, which is, not a comedy. And who's in it? Who's in it? Nick Kroll. And my mom was like, oh, who is that? And I was just like, oh, this is weird. And like, that's why it's so impressive that like, That was what was so impressive about Adam Sandler, for example. Like he's done serious movies before, but like they're all like even 51st Dates is a serious
I
movie,
didn't even see
but
that.
wow, what? You
I
never seen
didn't see it.
51st Dates? Damn. Um, but like, Adam Sandler when he did Uncut Gems, like first thing you think of with Adam Sandler is like you don't mess with the Zohan, Waterboy, Longest
Well,
Yard, like things like that.
you think don't mess with the Zohan. If
Okay,
I
but
say
I'm
Adam
saying
Sandler, I think my first immediate
Click.
connection would probably be Longest Yard, honestly.
Okay, but I'm saying that those kinds of movies,
I'm
not
just saying
serious
you
movies.
of all
Yeah.
people obviously default immediately to don't mess with the Zohan.
Well, duh. That's basically my life revolves around it.
Yeah.
And then he came out and he was fantastic in Uncut Gems, and like before Uncut Gems, everyone was like, "All right, Adam Sandler's done. Like he hasn't done anything relevant
Nolan
in a
brings up a
while."
great point. Uncut Gems was actually pretty funny.
That was the most stressful movie I've ever seen in my life.
Also, like, not like ha ha ha, like oh
Yeah.
my god, funny, but like
Okay,
that's
but
the best lines are there.
any good movie now, basically
I
any good
did,
movie,
like it's funny.
yeah,
Uncut Gems is awesome. Like,
any good movie needs to have some laughs in it.
yeah,
Um,
comedic relief.
yeah. But like watching Sacha Baron Cohen, and he was really good in the movie, and like it was a perfect role for him. Just like a week after watching Borat was odd.
Are we doing a movie podcast or do you want to?
I'm down. I don't know anything about movies, but we can just talk
Neither
about
do
movies
I.
we like. No, let's talk about the World Series. Obviously ended a couple days ago. It was. Let me just say, even though it didn't go seven,
Right.
still very good series, really
Very entertaining.
competitive, very entertaining. It ended in the most 2020 baseball way possible
Yeah.
because after the game for, I don't know, 12 hours, we weren't talking about anything that happened in the game.
No,
We were talking about
that's not
what
entirely.
happened
I mean,
after.
look, you were on Twitter. There was plenty of noise about Kevin Cash being an idiot.
Yes, but
But
the
there's a lot
majority
more
of the
noise
noise,
about Justin
yeah,
Turner and the Dodgers. Well, in classic 2020 style, why
until,
would we talk about the game? Let's talk about Justin
yeah,
Turner and what happened there.
until like, I feel like until like afternoon hours yesterday, Wednesday, so the day before, um, until then, it was all Kevin Cash bashing during the game, like while it was ending, and then it was all
Literally
Justin
so.
Turner after.
Who
Um,
looks worse? Who looks like the worst in this situation?
or do so. Let's. I think we should go in order of how things happen. So let's start during the game.
You're
Then we'll
killing
get
me,
to
bro.
the end of the
You're
game.
killing me. You're killing me. We literally just go, okay, let's talk Justin Turner. No, just kidding. Let's go in the order of our
Okay,
roster.
you really want to start with Justin Turner?
We
We'll start
started
with
talking
Justin.
about it already.
Okay, we'll start with Justin Turner.
Who looks the
Number one.
worst?
Number one question. I'd say number one question we both had was, bro, what are you doing? Is that fair?
Yeah. I have no answers. Like, what?
So
Look, I've tried to think a lot. Like, if I were in Justin Turner's shoes, it would be incredibly fucking difficult for me to stay in that locker room. I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie to you. I'm not in Justin Turner's shoes. I haven't won a World Series. I don't think I'm personally gonna win a World Series anytime soon. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Dude,
But
that'd be really impressive if you just like happened to win a World Series.
that'd be pretty
like,
cool. I'd be very happy with that.
Yeah, cool.
That said, how like what are you doing? He must have been damn confident that the Dodgers were going to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's just
it's indefensible. Like what? Just full disclosure here. Like whatever we say in this scenario, whatever we end up talking about, like it is indefensible what Justin Turner did. The amount of people he put at risk by coming out of the quarantine or isolation or whatever, like holding cell they had him in.
Yeah.
That's a whole other question. It's like, where
let's
COVID positive player isolate when they're?
Let's go through the whole scenario. For anyone,
did they pull him?
The 6th or 7th, I think it was like later in the game,
but 6th.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go through the scenario and kind of this timeline that we've been given for people that are just like, why is Ben just really mad at the guy that just won the World Series? So basically what happened was Justin Turner had been tested for coronavirus the day before. As they do. And it had come back inconclusive. And they had done another test on him. And that was the day of, and he had come back positive. They had done another test that day. And then they did a test the day of the World Series. Both of those had come back positive, which means it is not a false positive, which means Justin Turner has the coronavirus, or at least in that moment had the coronavirus.
Well,
He
I
still does.
presumably still has.
So Justin Turner was allowed to play even with inconclusive test results. The MLB got the results back, called the Dodgers, told them, you got to pull this guy from the game. We don't know where he went from there. He went into some sort of isolation. Dodgers win the game.
That I don't understand is like, like the league obviously called the Dodgers. They pulled him out of the game as they should have, as protocols indicate. Where does he go? Like, do you just tell him to go like sit in the corner and put a mask on? Like, do you put?
They probably put him somewhere in the clubhouse because they obviously didn't have him leave the stadium, because then of course the Dodgers win the World Series and Justin Turner comes out and celebrates. He's wearing a mask, but this is a guy who just tested positive for coronavirus, and everyone,
and
it's ridiculous.
The bigger concern to me is like all his teammates are obviously immediately. As soon as any one of your teammates tests positive, like you're probably at risk. Like you have been in contact with these people. You're in the dugout. You're in the bathrooms with them. Like you're obviously like it's one of your teammates.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think his teammates were like? Do you think he like told his teammates he wasn't going to stay in isolation? Do you think he was this just like a spur of the moment, like fuck it, I'm leaving?
Well, the thing that happened was the MLB told him you can't celebrate, and Justin Turner and the Dodgers insisted. They were like,
I think the phrasing I saw was he emphatically refused to comply.
Yeah, and like that's not
a no. That's like a fuck you no.
Yeah, that's like there's a difference. There's like in some states it says masks are strongly recommended. It's like, no, masks should be required. It shouldn't have been required. It shouldn't have been strongly recommended that Justin Turner go quarantine. It should have been required.
I just got a mouthful of coffee grounds. That was disgusting.
Ew, gross. Oh, Jesus. Only on Second Floor Sports.
I was like 80% grounds, 20% coffee. That was great.
Jeez. May I continue?
I am awake. Yeah, let's go.
Like, there's no reason that he should have been allowed to go back on the field. Like,
Michelle, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
Okay, well, I got a nasty pimple like on my upper lip, and it looks like something else. So I didn't want to do the live, and now I'm getting roasted by my best friend and my girlfriend, which is fantastic. Anyway, back to Justin Turner. And it's ridiculous that it came to this, but there were so many people that were like, okay, he's been in the club.
Entirely unsurprising.
Yeah. People were saying he's been in the clubhouse. If he has tested positive, his other teammates have probably tested positive, which we've seen through other sports is not true because they're able to, they've been able to contain it sometimes. And as much as we know about the coronavirus, there's still so much we don't know. We don't know sometimes how it's spread. And you know, it's not like there were just players on the field. Like you talk about
kids,
family members, MLB, like front office members, like the fucking commissioner of the MLB was like near there.
People that work for Globe Life Park that like brought the whole like podium and everything up to the field. Like
there's so many people.
Wildly irresponsible.
And Ben and I have, as we've said, we have never won a World Series before. We probably will never win a World Series before. Probably. I'm not knocking it out of the realm of possibilities. It's probably so hard to have worked so hard and been such an integral part of your team all season long in the playoffs, in the World Series. Without him,
it's not like Justin Turner's just like a random 1 year rental. Like this guy's been a key part of all of the the last 4 or 5 years for the Dodgers where they've been in the World Series and been like one of the best teams in the league.
It's probably so hard for him to not be able to go out and celebrate fully, but you gotta just like, that's the whole thing that has been about this. It has been like, it is bigger than you. And again, this is the most 2020 way for things to end. Like, it's ridiculous, but
the more I think about it, like the longer I sit with it, it's like, I don't know that I can tell you 100% that I would have stayed in isolation there. I'm being completely honest. Like, you just win the goddamn World Series and you're not leaving, you're standing there by yourself watching your teammates celebrate. Clearly his teammates didn't care. Clearly no one on the Dodgers cared to tell him he couldn't come out.
Well, I mean the Dodgers front office knew, but we don't know if the players knew.
If anyone on the Dodgers cared, they would have sent him back into the locker room.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, it's not just on
If anyone there cared, they would have sent him back into the locker room.
I think this is more on the Dodgers than it is on Justin Turner because again, like
I
we've
agree.
talked about,
That's what I was
yeah,
gonna get at is like it's not
yeah,
it couldn't have been easy for Justin Turner to be sitting there isolated watching his team win the World Series. So he was like, all right, I'm getting out of here. I'm going on the field celebrating with everyone.
was there a more like fitting way to end it than Justin Turner handling the trophy or sorry, a piece of metal.
A piece of metal, right?
Handling the trophy right next to his coach who had recovered from lymphoma like 10 years ago without a mask on. Is there a more 2020 way to end this? Like,
what would have happened if this went Game 7? Can you
he
imagine?
He wouldn't have been allowed to play, and they probably would have had to. Like, we haven't heard anything from any of these players, but I guess the season's over. We don't have to hear from them. I don't really know how that works going forward.
Stuff will come out, like
yeah, but like they don't. We would know if there was a Game 7 and another player tested positive, we would know. We'll probably still find out if he spread it to anyone in that locker room, but we don't have to.
We will find out if other Dodgers players tested positive. Like in this day and age, how are we?
Yeah.
Unless the Dodgers literally manage to like put a blanket on the whole damn thing, there's no shot we don't find out if someone else tests positive.
Yeah. All right. Before we get into Snell getting pulled, I know this is.
All right.
I know this is something that we've both discussed on this podcast plenty of times. Not rocket science. Clayton Kershaw's, legacy, like all the memes on him are done. Like you got nothing. You can still maintain the fact that he's been in playoff games and he's blown it,
or he has some pretty spectacular playoff games.
But it was the same thing with LeBron before he got. It was the same thing with
Mans is ringed up. He's ringed up.
Yeah, it was the same thing before LeBron got his first ring, which I was talking about it with one of my roommates. Like that was so funny.
Also,
what?
I thought you think I was flipping you off there?
Yeah, I thought you were. I was like, what? Why are you?
You wouldn't know if I was flipping you off.
Yeah, you make him a little more clear. Like everyone made fun of LeBron before he got that ring. He gets the ring, it's over. Like Clayton Kershaw got the ring, can't say anything else. That's it.
I think also the thing about Kershaw's legacy is like it's kind of his drop from his like true peak where he was literally winning Cy Youngs and like getting MVP votes to now has been it looks worse because he's not only has he dropped off from like the best pitcher in the league, he dropped off as the best pitcher on his own team, like the unquestioned ace of the Dodgers. And part of that is because the Dodgers have guys like Walker Buehler, who's 23, dealing like literally.
I don't know how old he is.
He's young, I'm pretty sure.
Bueller. Damn, we're really turning into a movie pod, huh?
He's 23. Yeah,
23. Damn, that's pretty crazy. He's a year older than us.
Yeah, you're right. Clayton Kershaw's not the best pitcher on the Dodgers anymore because you got a fucking phenom like Walker Buehler showing up, like a unanimous top prospect coming in and taking over that like ace mantle. So yeah, it's like Kershaw had a lot of stuff going kind of against him basically.
But I mean, there are a lot of teams that Clayton Kershaw would still be the number one option on.
Are there?
Probably. At least
more than half teams in the league Kershaw would be
at
this point.
No, but I mean, think about like, are there that many? Are there that many? If there are any better number two options
for any playoff team this year,
like the number one option for any playoff team,
that's what you're saying. If you say he's still a top guy for a lot of teams,
maybe the Astros.
If Verlander's healthy, he's not.
Okay, but Verlander wasn't healthy.
Maybe that.
Maybe the Marlins.
Not what we're here to do. We're not
yeah. Okay, but we can.
We're not here to debate that.
Like Kershaw is top 5 number 2 option in the whole league. It's not like he's completely washed.
I'm not sitting here saying Kershaw's completely washed. Obviously, he's not like
the man anymore. Yeah,
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. All right, so we're kind of inching towards the big storyline of the game, which was Blake Snell.
Give me Kevin Cash.
I will let you chomp on him in a second. But just overall in this series, and we're gonna get to it when we're talking about Blake Snell and who he got taken out for, which is a big thing too. A big thing we talked about was 2 really good bullpens two really good starting pitching staffs.
Two
Who
best
was
teams
going
in baseball.
Yeah, who was going to blink first? And this really just came down to like it doesn't happen very often, but this felt like it was the correct World Series matchup and the correct team won. I mean, this was the best team in baseball and they won.
Yeah, all season long, literally. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like, and the past 3 years, I feel like we've looked at the Dodgers preseason and been like, damn, this team
Yeah.
is the best in baseball. And what did they do this all past offseason? Went out and got this guy Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
Turns out is pretty good at baseball. Very
I
talented
mean,
guy.
Dave Roberts managed the shit out of Game 6, and he might have saved his job, honestly.
I think the people calling for Dave Roberts' head, I think were a little bit
yes.
overzealous. He definitely wasn't, and he'd gotten his fair share of hate for like how he's managed his bullpen in past years.
Mm-hmm.
I really, it's similar to people who hate on Aaron Boone. It's like, do you hate on his manager? Do you like? He gets a lot of flack for like his top bullpen options, like shitting the bed in the playoffs. Like that's not really Dave Roberts' fault.
I'd give more flack. I give more flack to Dave Roberts. Like Boone, as much as I hate to come to his rescue, like you see all the injuries he's dealt with.
In the ALDS.
Yeah, yeah. No, he didn't. Right. It's not his fault that Aroldis Chapman can't pitch in elimination games.
It's not his fault that Jay Happ shouldn't be pitching in fucking any postseason game ever. Like,
don't talk to me about bad pitching rotations. By the way, don't even fucking. We were throwing out Michael Wacha and Rick Porcello this season.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let me set the table before you just absolutely go ballistic on Mr. Kevin Cash. So Blake Snell, Game 6, probably your ace if you're the Rays. We had talked about on the pod. Yeah, we had talked about on the podcast, you got to have all your options available in an elimination game, be it Game 6, be it Game 7.
Yeah, the Rays have to manage that like a Game 7. Everyone you want, like everyone who needs the pitch is available.
Rays, obviously a big analytics team. I had brought up before the playoffs started, maybe a disadvantage as they got deeper in the playoffs for the Rays was, will it come back to hurt them that their starting pitchers can't go deep in the playoffs because they haven't?
That they couldn't go deep.
Yeah, it's because they
asked to.
Yeah. You had injury, like past injuries too, that kind of prevented that during the regular season. Blake Snell, absolutely dealing 5 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits allowed, an earned run, 9 strikeouts.
Second hit coming right before he got pulled as well.
73 pitches, like nothing. He can go at least another inning. Coming up is
you can throw the numbers out. If you watched Game 6, he was dealing.
Yeah,
like the Dodgers were not.
They're untouchable.
You just look at like the type of at bats the Dodgers were having. They had nothing for him.
Yeah,
like, they could not get the bat on the ball.
The top 3 in the order coming up, they were a combined 0 for 6 with 6 strikeouts against Snell. And then
it's almost like they literally couldn't touch him.
Out goes Blake Snell, and Ben, I pass the reins over to you.
I just love it. Like for all the shit Kevin Cash was talking in terms of like the Yankees Rays series, obviously Kevin Cash was like very boy. Kevin Cash was always like a big
Can we give a shout out real quick?
On my guys I hate in baseball list.
Can we give you a shout out real quick? If you're listening to us on Spotify or watching us on YouTube right now, you can't see the comments. Our one of our professors just joined our live, Peter Johans, who has Yost.
Have you ever called him Peter?
No, but I figured I'd get a reaction out of him. He's a big cycling guy. He's asking us to talk more cycling.
No, we can talk about how much money you've spent on your bikes. Let's talk about that instead. But let's talk about Kevin Cash.
Yeah.
Great. For everyone who is trying to say that like analytics are ruining baseball, for one, you're wrong. Like you're just wrong. Like this stuff pisses me off to no end. Oh, Moneyball, the numbers are ruining. It's like the numbers don't lie. Like statistics are statistics. Numbers. No, I'm glad you did that. The analytics in this situation proved that Kevin Cash had no fucking clue what he was doing. Like the numbers showed without a doubt that he should not have put Nick Anderson in that game in the first place. Like Nick Anderson has literally been the Rays' worst reliever all postseason. You look at every game he pitched in the postseason, he didn't allow a run in 2 of them.
Yeah.
Was he their best pitcher in the regular season? Yeah, absolutely. Was he the best reliever in the American League this year? Probably. I don't have the numbers of like the other candidates up right in front of me, but like you're at a 0.55.
Was it Devin Williams? Devin Williams was his name, I think, on the Brewers. It's disgusting.
the different league.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying he's best reliever in baseball.
Strictly in the AL. Nick Anderson is probably the best reliever in the American League this
year. Yeah, probably.
Right, let's get into it. Nick Anderson has given up runs in 6 straight appearances, including last night, in 7 of his 9. You look at Blake Snell, so Kevin Cash's whole mantra, I guess, as a manager is that he doesn't want his starters to face the lineup the third time through the order. Mm-hmm. That's like his thing. That's kind of like a prevailing thought in baseball these days. You don't want a starter going through the lineup a third time because for the most part, the numbers indicate that starters get hit harder the third time through the lineup. It makes sense. I mean, guys see a guy.
And to be fair, his velocity was dropping a little bit.
Dropping a little bit, but it's like
he was 73 pitches in. It's to be expected, and it's not like it was dropping 10 miles an hour. It was like 4 or 5.
It was like 2. He was throwing like the first 2 innings. He was throwing like 94.
No, he was getting in at 92, 93, and he topped out at 97, I think. Yeah, so 4 or 5 miles an hour, not that much.
Point being, he was still dealing. Like, guys were still not touching him. But then you look at Blake Snell's numbers the second and the third time through the order, they're basically the same compared to his first time through the order, and he's actually better on the third time through the order. Mm-hmm. Like, it's basically negligible. It's not a huge difference, but like, the numbers show that he's actually slightly better the third time through the order. And then you look at the guy that they pulled Blake Snell, or that was supposed to hit that they pulled Blake Snell for, Mookie Betts, who is very good at baseball, had a great series.
Yes, he is. Yeah, very good.
Somehow, Mookie Betts is dramatically worse the third time facing the same starter in the same
game. That was really surprising, yeah.
It literally makes 0 sense. I'm getting these numbers from the latest John Boy video. You should all check it out. Really, I talk about numbers don't lie. Like, these numbers are pretty clear.
Yeah.
First time facing a starter in a game, Mookie hit 311. His OPS was 905. His third time through the order, he hit 229 with a 786 OPS. Those are 2 different players. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
You have a replacement level player and a superstar there.
Literally, yeah. Don't understand how that works at all, but these are the numbers. This is the way it works.
That makes Mookie all the more special, honestly, that he can hit that poorly his third time around usually. And yeah.
And then you look at the type of pitcher that Nick Anderson is. So Blake Snell's a lefty. Mookie versus lefties hit 212 against fastballs. Mm-hmm. That's not good for those.
Not good. He was bad against lefties in general.
Yeah, not
terrible.
Mookie struggled against lefties this year.
Hit 200 against them.
Mookie Betts versus righties hit 359 against fastballs. That, Matias, is very good.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
This just in.
360 against the pitch is really good. Wow. I wonder if the Rays should bring in a right-handed pitcher who throws 64% fastballs.
And one that has been struggling.
One that's been arguably your worst pitcher in the postseason.
Yeah. I mean,
of those numbers, please tell me in the comments. In the comments on Instagram Live, comments on our podcast page, comments anywhere. Send me a letter. Tell me which of those numbers that I just presented you would indicate that the Rays should put Nick Anderson in there.
So I think I know your answer, but what were you more disappointed, or not disappointed because you wanted the Rays to lose?
I was not disappointed.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
What were you more surprised and would have been pissed about if you were a Rays fan? Was it Blake Snell being pulled or being pulled for who he got pulled for?
That's a good question, honestly. I don't know which I'd be more pissed off about.
I would probably be more pissed off about who he pulled him for after you look at the numbers. Because, look, Blake Snell was dealing, but there's a reason that the Rays are in the World Series. Besides having a very good and deep team, Kevin Cash was a hell of a manager. Probably one of the best, if not the best manager. One of the best, if not the best. It is undeniable to look at what he has and what he has been able to do.
I think putting him in the best is he going to be manager of the year?
Is he a top 5 manager in the MLB?
That's not an argument you can even have. Those type of conversations are so.
Is he a top 5 manager in the league?
Sure.
Yes.
But there's no real way to fucking quantify that.
Okay, so we can move on. He's a top 5 manager in the league. He is one of the best managers in the league. There's a reason they got there. I mean, they don't have offensive superstars on that team. Their defense is
a monster. I mean,
what?
Brandon Lau is a monster.
Yeah, I know, but Brandon Lau struggled a lot in the playoffs.
And this is struggling.
Randy Arozarena.
MF named Randy.
An MF named Randy. And, again, this is things that we were talking about as this series progressed was just the bullpen wasn't as dominant as it was. And the offense just wasn't getting their production all World Series, all playoffs long. After that first round, it started plummeting down.
It's like, I just don't understand for the life of me how Kevin Cash could have put Nick Anderson into that spot. I guess that answers. I'm more upset that he went with Nick Anderson.
Yeah,
but I would be more upset if I was a Rays fan.
I agree with that.
Like, unless he literally was just looking at the wrong goddamn line on his spreadsheet.
Oh fuck!
Like there's in the John Boy video.
Yeah, like mom.
Looking at his book, and it's like, or not the Blake Snell, where it's like Kevin Cash looking at his book, where presumably he has like all his his numbers, the analytics. None of those numbers should indicated that Nick Anderson should have been in that game.
It's such a bummer because what
was Kevin Cash looking at that led him to believe that he should put Nick Anderson in?
I think it was your dad that put it in the comments on your Instagram. No one pulled Bob Gibson his third time around, right? It's the big argument that comes up, and that's why people are like, "This is ruining baseball," because it's easy to look at this, and if I think it's better in the sake of analytics that it was a bad decision numbers wise. Because could you imagine Anderson has really good numbers against Betts and it all made sense and he got chased? Then you're like,
Anderson or Snell?
Anderson. Because if the move made sense, right? We're looking at the numbers and it's undeniable that going from Snell to Anderson in that situation doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if it had made sense and Anderson still got hit the way he did and gave up the lead and eventually lost the game?
That's the type of thing where it's like people were bashing Aaron Boone for the whole Davey J. Happ fiasco in Game 2 of the ALDS.
When it doesn't work, yeah.
Neither one of them looked good. Was it a half-baked, not the best idea? Yeah. Did your pitchers get hit?
Imagine the stress that Aaron Boone had to face when he was like, fuck, we're going to pitch Davey and J. Happ.
Playoff game.
Ugh.
And speaking as a Yankees fan here, it's incredibly frustrating to watch the Rays bullpen finally blink in the World Series. Because I remember going into the Rays-Yankees ALDS, I was like, all right, the Rays are the better team here. This the Yankees fan in me talking, not like the analyst. The Yankees needed
important distinction to make.
A very important distinction.
Yeah, no.
The Yankees needed a couple of the Rays to kind of choke a little bit, and they needed a couple of their own guys to play a little bit better than they would have expected to. That's a month ago. We're not talking too much about that anymore. The Rays, not even the Rays, Nick Anderson choked big time. 6 straight appearances with a run.
Yeah.
You want to talk about riding the hot hand. There's something that's not analytics based. It's just kind of an eye test type of thing. Was Blake Snell was the hot hand. He was dealing. Like you said, the numbers indicate. Top 3 guys in the Dodgers order up until that point, 0 for 6 strikeouts. You literally can't do worse than that.
Would you have felt better if then Mookie comes in the batter next, the next batter up, and he's facing Snell?
World Series MVP Corey Seager, that guy?
No. I'm saying Seager was batting second, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I called it. God, I'm the smartest man alive. Oh wow!
So we're not talking about smartest man alive. I was looking at my my postseason bracket from a month ago. I think I missed 3 series.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I don't know why I'm never picking the Twins to ever win anything again. That was on me.
That's just common.
Hey man, I picked.
I'm gonna hold that one over you for a long damn time.
I picked. Hey dude, I mean, it's not like I'm the only one who picked them. Jeff fucking Passan picked the Twins.
Actually?
Yeah, Twins.
Wow.
Yeah. The numbers all point to them, but it can't all be number based because it is the playoffs.
But even if it is number based, the numbers indicated that they should have gone with Nick Anderson.
I'm talking about the Twins. I'm saying because the Twins, much better team than the Astros.
Winning playoff game.
Yes, I know. That's why you can't just look at the numbers, right? The reason you picked Houston to get to the point that you did is because they had that experience and eventually they were going to wake up.
Well, because I'm just a savant, but
right, gotcha. So let me ask you this hypothetical, and then we can we'll move on to the NFL.
I'll answer hypothetically.
Okay. Blake Snell is in to face Mookie Betts.
Yep.
Mookie Betts singles off him. Runners on first and second. One out. Yeah. 1 out. Because he got whoever was batting 8th to pop up. So yeah, runners on first and second with one out, and you got Corey Seager coming up. If Blake Snell gets pulled there, is there a big hoopla? No, right?
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I also would imagine not even would imagine, the numbers here would indicate that Blake Snell is probably going to get Mookie Betts out.
No, I know, but I'm saying if Mookie Betts reaches, I don't think it's
probably go with Blake Snell. Honestly, I wouldn't go with Nick Anderson.
I think at that point, if there's runners on first,
I would have. If you're gonna pull him, you don't go to Nick Anderson because he's been your worst pitcher in the series.
I think if you have runners on first and second with one gone, at that point you give up back-to-back base knocks. We talked about you have all your weapons. The Rays have weapons. You got to go to someone else there.
I just went to look up. Typed in Nick Anderson game by game. Clicked on the link on Google. Looking at Nick Anderson, the linebacker for Tulane currently.
Oh, I thought it would be Nick Anderson, the former basketball player.
Oh, I forgot about that, Nick Anderson. Yeah. Nick Anderson for Tulane's having a pretty good season. He had 7 tackles in the last game against UCF.
Oh, not bad.
Let's look at Nick Anderson, the pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays.
I mean, you got any more thoughts on this? Like,
I'm just looking at his 3 appearances in the World Series. 1 1/3, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 strikeouts. 1 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 strikeout. Last night or Game 6, final game. Third of an inning, 1 hit, 1 run. Like, yeah, is it only 3 runs in 3 games? It's
Didn't have it.
Awful, but for a guy that was supposed to be like high level,
shut down.
The Rays didn't run like a closer per se this season. Why would you go with Nick Anderson?
Well, that's what makes it frustrating for the Rays because they had so many options, but eventually you just need that guy you can rely on. Castillo was good. He was good. Like
October 6th was the last time Nick Anderson came into a game and didn't allow a run.
Yeah, that's not good.
Last time he didn't allow a hit.
It's not good.
It just made no sense. And it's like for the people who say analytics are ruining baseball,
you're ruining baseball.
It's a false correlation between this being an analytics decision because Kevin Cash botched it.
Yeah, good shit, Ben.
Yeah, what you know about correlation?
Probably
correlation.
Probably just as much as you.
That graph I was telling you about like a couple weeks ago. Remember?
That you got from an article. Like you just copied it from an article.
I didn't make the graph myself. Are you kidding me? I can barely count. I did not make.
One of my favorite memes, just talking about correlations, is just the one that says no correlation, which is dots everywhere.
Yeah,
fantastic. Let's move on to the NFL, Ben. AKA another Sunday you can enjoy. Happy for you.
Yes.
Can't relate.
Back-to-back weeks where the Giants don't play on Sunday is just good for me.
We got to start with Ben's favorite day of the week, Thursday Night Football. Falcons, Panthers. Thursday Night Football is basically made for shitty divisions having shitty matchups, AKA, I don't know, Texans, Jags.
Thursday Night Football brought to you by the NFC East.
Yeah.
They should make every NFC East divisional matchup should just be a Thursday Night Football game.
Well, we have. I mean, what is it? Next Thursday night I think it's Cowboys, Eagles, I think. That's the 3rd straight week that we're having primetime NFC East matchups. That's brutal.
It's prime time, but would you rather have that be like primetime Sunday Night Football or primetime Thursday Night Football?
Oh, much rather Thursday Night Football, but I'd also rather it be a 1 o'clock start. Like,
I'm fine putting NFC East games on Thursday night, honestly.
Well, no, you say that because you always had a lot of sports to watch. Now that sports are winding down, you're going to be more inclined to watch Thursday Night Football. I'm telling you. Okay. Oh, yeah, you might not be, but I will.
Falcons. And the worst part is I'm still going to watch the Giants on Monday night. I'm still going to watch them beat Tom Brady. We'll talk about that in our best bets. We'll save that. We'll talk about that one.
Falcons, Panthers. Panthers favored by 2. That's one of the picks I got. Ben, let's just start playing a weekly game. How will the Falcons blow it this week?
I don't think the Falcons will blow it. I think this will just be like a straight wash. Like the Falcons will just lose this game.
Okay.
Honestly, I mean, McCaffrey's not expected to play, which is phenomenal for my fantasy team because I've got Mike Davis. Also, bow for you. Special delivery. Did you weave it though? Did you weave it? Did you weave it?
I weaved it.
Have you lost back-to-back games in our main league?
Yeah, I'm getting a little worried.
You should. You're only up a game right now in the standings.
Yeah. It's all right. My team's gonna get hot. I got a nice cakewalk schedule for some of my players.
I just have to get that one in. Like regardless of what happens with the rest of the fantasy league,
I have two. I literally just have.
I love it. I think
I
I only
literally
played
just
you once.
have.
I think that was our only matchup this year. I don't think we meet in the playoffs.
I literally just have too many good players, straight up.
And you're just the bad manager, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough.
I just had to get that in there.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's fair. I can't say anything. You beat me in fantasy, like
look, If there are very few situations where you can you got like a lock on being able to talk shit to one of your friends, where there's just like nothing they can
fantasy,
say.
Yeah.
Fantasy football, like I won, you lost. That happens.
I can't say anything.
Exactly. The Falcons are just not good. Like, it's baffling because they have like decent pieces. I mean, Calvin really looked like a monster. Julio Jones is obviously still a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ryan's a good quarterback. Am I wrong?
No, Matt Ryan is not a bad quarterback, I'll say.
I'd say he's a good quarterback.
I'd say he's not a bad quarterback. I don't know, man. Like he's exiting out of the.
We're really hitting the hard hitting questions today. Is Matt Ryan good or bad?
I mean, it's a question worth asking because you look at this
is he good or not bad? Is what we're kind of debating.
This is a Falcons team that is like not in like Super Bowl contention, even playoff contention.
Really?
Let me finish talking. Jesus. Even in like playoff contention anymore, like it's a team that's gonna probably be rebuilding sooner rather than later. So like, what does Matt Ryan's future look like in Atlanta? What does Julio Jones' future look like? There's still pieces that you can get a lot for.
Yeah.
You know, you look at like, I don't know.
It's also a matter of like, as we've talked about this on the show before, trading even a superstar in the NFL, like you're not getting anywhere close to what their value is.
No, but if you're a Falcons team and you're like, shit, you know, we got to rebuild. Like they have their offensive line has been pretty good. Todd Gurley, numbers wise, has been good, but I think has been one of the least efficient runners in the NFL this season. Like their defense is atrocious. They have a good offense.
They're just like they're like incapable of winning a football game. It's like, you know,
it's a culture change that needs to happen.
All like the small little things that have to happen to win a football game. Like obviously you can look at the numbers and you look at like, oh, you know, my quarterback threw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. Obviously we won, like that type of stuff. But for whatever reason, and it's probably various reasons, the Falcons just cannot win a game.
Yeah. You know, when you get to situations like that, like, you know, you start thinking about, do we trade Matt Ryan? Because what's getting really interesting about there's going to be like another quarterback roulette, because you think of a lot of teams that are either contenders or like on the brink of being contenders that have older quarterbacks, like the Colts, like the Bucks. You know, these are
both entirely different situations.
All I'm saying is good teams that have aging quarterbacks that you don't know, you know, how much longer.
How old is Matt Ryan?
Matt Ryan's like 37, 36.
Is he?
Yeah, he's old.
35.
35. He's not getting any younger.
That is generally how time works. Yeah.
He's
not like, I wouldn't put him in like the old category.
Yeah, but
like
he's
Brady, Rivers, Tom Brady.
Okay, but another example.
Rivers,
another example. The Saints. You know, you never know when an injury is going to happen. God forbid, knock on wood. But like,
knock on wood if you're with me.
Yeah. You know, but it's, you know, a lot of contenders that have old quarterbacks. Enough about that game. We had some really exciting.
I love spending 15 minutes talking about a Falcons-Panthers Thursday night football game.
There are a couple games that we selected that are close record-wise, and regardless of if they'll be a good game or not, we're going to learn a lot about the NFL because
so this is a big, perfect timing for the NFL. Literally halfway through the season, like.
Really, this is when things get really enticing, usually like really exciting, because you have, at least when I was making my power rankings, there are like 7 teams that are 5-1 or undefeated. There's only one team undefeated. But like there are a lot of teams just bunched up there, and you start looking for statement wins. You start looking for, you know, like Detroit is not a good team, but they're 3-3. You know, Vegas is 3-3. So we'll start with Pittsburgh.
Look at, like, who are these? We'll get into our power rankings later. But you got to think about like who have you beaten? You know, like you look at a team like the Pats, for instance, and we'll talk about them a little bit. Like the Pats wins are not good.
No, they're not.
Same with the Niners.
It's almost like they've had like one good offensive quarter all season long. Let's start with the game of the week, undoubtedly. Pittsburgh and Baltimore. A 6-0 Pittsburgh team, a 5-1 Baltimore team. Is it crazy to say that Baltimore needs a statement win more than Pittsburgh
really
here?
Isn't. Like, as bizarre as it sounds, like Baltimore is so good. They just traded for Yannick Ngakoue. Like, who did they just trade for?
Yeah. No, not Ngakoue.
Wow, we are so good at our job. God, thank you guys for listening. Because we
guy
don't
from the
know
Vikings.
what we're doing.
Not Griffin.
Not Everson Griffin.
No, so he just got traded to the Lions. Anyway. What you were saying about the Baltimore offense. Wow, this is
awful. How are we not? Also, why can't I find who they traded? Who literally just traded for?
Was it Ngakoue? It was Ngakoue.
I thought that was like a week ago.
No, it was. Yeah, it was Ngakoue. Yeah, it was like a week ago. It was Ngakoue because he got traded to the Vikings and the Vikings traded him away. Yes, it was Ngakoue.
Okay, yeah. We're losing our shit. Cool.
Another guy who can win up front one-on-one. I mean, you think about trying to defend that defensive line and then the amount of blitzes the amount of exotic blitzes they bring from their safety level. Like, okay, but I'm saying like the Steelers blitz with their linebackers usually. No, but the Ravens bring exotic blitzes.
Sure. Point being that you look at who the Ravens have beaten this year, nothing impressive. Smoked the Browns, smoked the Texans, lost by 2 scores to the Chiefs, their one loss. Smoked the football team, smoked the Bengals, somehow beat the Eagles by only 2. None of those wins are impressive.
Yeah.
It's the type of thing where it's like, yeah, the Ravens should be 5-1 playing that schedule. A loss to the Chiefs is not a bad loss by any. Like, yeah, you lost by 2 scores, but earlier in the season, and I don't know if you noticed, but Kansas City Chiefs pretty good at football.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But this is the type of game where you show up and you're like, damn, we got a chance to A, beat a division rival, move into first place in the division, and B, knock off the only undefeated team in the league. Like, this is a game you get up for if you're Baltimore.
Yeah, and I mean,
obviously same motivation the other way. Like, it's not like Steelers are like, we're fine, we don't need to win this week. Like,
I think if Baltimore, the thing is, it's not that Baltimore hasn't beaten anyone impressive necessarily. It's that, I mean, they haven't.
I was gonna say
it's the fact that their offense hasn't looked good. I mean, they lost Marshall Yanda, and we were kind of just like, all right, like, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever. You lost, a Hall of Fame right guard. No big deal. Like, the run game hasn't been as good as it was last year. Lamar hasn't been as explosive. They have an extra year of tape.
Like, I literally was looking on the wire. I saw J.K. Dobbins was on the wire, and I remember everyone was talking about J.K. Dobbins as like the sleeper of the year. Ravens can't get the run game going. Like, it's not it's not the run game isn't going well. It's just like they don't have that like. It's just not as good as it was last year. It's kind of the way to put it.
I don't know who I lean for, who I lean towards for this week. My thought being Pittsburgh and Baltimore, respectively.
It's in Baltimore, which doesn't really mean a whole lot.
Yeah. Pittsburgh, the number one.
But, it's
Pittsburgh, the number one blitz team. Pittsburgh, the number one team in terms of bringing extra pressure in the NFL. Baltimore right behind them.
In terms of creating pressure, just like the amount of times they blitz.
It just blitz. The amount of times they blitz. The difference being that I think Big Ben got the ball out like an average of like 2.5 seconds last game. It was crazy. His numbers go up against the blitz. He's better against the blitz, which is, understandable with the amount of weapons he has. For Baltimore, Lamar struggles against the blitz, and he has this season. And, I don't know. It's a little
Lamar is like, it's a lot easier said than done. We say, all right, we just got to, contain Lamar Jackson. Okay, do it.
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, this is a Baltimore secondary that's, probably the best defense in the league. Like, they overall, they have the people to contain the amount of weapons that Pittsburgh has. They're probably gonna make Big Ben win the game for Pittsburgh. I mean, that's what it's gonna come down to.
Yeah.
And for Baltimore on offense, like, what Pittsburgh's gonna bring. It's just a matter of, can you beat it?
I think it's last point on this game because we've got a lot to get to. But definitely a little bit scary if you're the Ravens, if you're a Ravens fan, because you're kind of looking like, okay, we're really good again. Obviously, you're not concerned about like making the playoffs, but it's like, can this Ravens team win a game that doesn't go according to their plan, their game script that they want?
And that's always the knock on them.
Exactly. You know?
Always a knock. It's the question.
Yeah.
But
if we look at this Ravens team in December and January, if they, go down big in the divisional round and lose to Tennessee, a team that, is kind of beating them at their own game again, then yeah, those questions become a little bit more persistent.
Yeah. Next game we have on is a game that is not going to be pretty, probably. There are two teams that have a lot to prove. I mean, Vegas is surprisingly 3-3. Cleveland.
I don't know if I'd say surprise. I think people really took the bait on Vegas through 3 weeks.
Yeah. I'm saying surprisingly that they have won 3 games.
Being a lot better than people would have expected.
Yeah. It's a Cleveland team that just lost OBJ. So obviously the biggest question is, how do the Browns look without him?
Well, and the funny thing, Josh pointed this out to both of us in our Twitter chat. Baker's numbers are actually slightly better without Odell on the field.
Yeah.
Pretty
because
marginal.
It doesn't feed into what Baker, what the knock is on Baker, that he just forces it and that he has a clean pocket and he's like, yeah, I'm going to scramble for 4 yards, or, I'm just going to try to throw to triple coverage on OBJ. I don't think he's better, but
something I was talking to our resident Browns insider, Joshua Hayden, about. I feel like the Browns should be pretty damn
Jack Powers is not going to be happy about that. Jack Powers is not going to be happy about that.
He's not even in here. I wouldn't call him our insider.
Not fair.
You talk to Jack Powers every day?
No.
Exactly. Point being, I would be a lot more concerned if I were a Browns fan that you needed a game-winning drive to beat the Bengals.
Yeah. And this second time this season.
Gave up a game-winning drive to Joe Burrow, and then Baker, to his credit, and to the Browns' credit, engineered a game winner. You really needed to do that against the Bengals?
Yeah.
And now you want to come in and say, we're going to beat Vegas. Is Vegas good? I don't know. Are they better than Cincinnati? Yes, significantly.
Yeah.
I'd be a little bit concerned.
Yeah. Me too. Very fair. And this is where we kind of find out if either of these teams are kind of going to fall off the map, Does Cleveland completely fold, or is this really it for Vegas? Yes, they should.
Should win this game.
They're -2.5. They're going to be crazy wins. And Vegas is really bad against the run. And guess what? Cleveland is going to be relying on Kareem Hunt.
And Ernest Johnson.
And Ernest. I think Cleveland.
They're not even using him anymore. He got 1.
Yeah, I know. I think Cleveland should win this one.
Yeah.
Next game, Colts at Detroit. Again, surprising. Detroit 3-3. Snooze fest.
I just don't care about this game.
Yeah. Indy's coming off a bye week. Their defense is good. I would hope that Phillip Rivers would figure some things out.
It's the type of game where it's just as a pure football fan, it's what excites you about this game other than the fact that it's football? Find something about this game that's exciting. Is there a super player?
No, there's nothing about Detroit that I find exciting.
Is there anything about Indianapolis that you find exciting?
At least they're a good
Phillip Rivers.
At least they're a good team.
I'm clowning here. I'm just.
I know.
I'm joking mostly, but it's it is the type of game where it's this is why we have Red Zone.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I'll love it, and as soon as they flip off, it's great.
Yeah. Next game, Niners at Seahawks, which we knew was going to be a good game.
Wow.
The Niners, I'm saying preseason.
Preseason.
Okay. The Niners have come back to life the last couple of weeks. Their wins are not super impressive. They got against the Giants, the Jets, the Pats, and the Rams, right? But
the Rams is their only good win, and the Rams are.
And say what you want. Say what you want about the Patriots not being a good football team. You beat Bill Belichick by 30 points. That's impressive. Regardless of what.
But the Patriots are still not good. Yeah,
it's not a statement win.
There's only, you've said it yourself. Look at the Pats' offense. What do you expect Bill Belichick to do with this offense?
I'm more impressed with what the Niners did on offense against the Patriots' defense, even though they had short field most of the times. And just were always on the field. But I think the Patriots, their win against the Patriots is a tier above their win against the Giants and Jets. Like
yes,
the Patriots
definitely.
are still better than both of those teams.
By not much, but they're better.
But I think it's I safely say that.
Literally third place team versus 2 fourth place teams.
Yeah.
I mean, they're better. They're third.
Yeah. Low key, the Niners win this. If the Seahawks lose this game, and then later the Rams win, Seahawks are in second in the division. I mean, every divisional game is huge, but in the NFC West, just even bigger.
All the pressure is on Seattle here.
Yeah,
all the pressure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The Niners, I don't want to say the Niners themselves are like counting themselves out of a playoff spot, but like realistically, the Niners are probably the worst team in the division.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I would say that too.
Like in some respects, you could say that means like this. There's more pressure on this for the Niners, but the Niners need to like run the table practically.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough matchup for the Niners. I mean, Seahawks don't have a good pass defense. Garoppolo's got to. So far. Yeah. Garoppolo's got to play a really clean game. And
the Niners also have literally no running backs.
Yeah. Their pass defense is good as the Niners. They got to somehow limit this Seahawks offense. I don't know how that happens. Next game we got is maybe 2 frauds. We don't know what to. I really don't know what to make.
I'm not calling the Seahawks frauds. When you
no, not the Seahawks. Next game.
Together,
you said Seahawks. You meant Saints.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm not calling them frauds, but no Mike Thomas. Drew Brees has been
the whole season though.
Drew Brees, low key, last 3 games has been the highest ranked quarterback.
Really?
For PFF grade, yes. Either PFF grade or QBR.
Look, PFF is only accurate when they say nice things about my favorite players. That's kind of how PFF works.
What? That's like, yeah. I love that podcast, by the way. It's fantastic.
What, Second Floor Sports?
Yeah, that too. Best podcast on the planet.
Which podcast are you talking about?
The PFF one. PFF and Mina Kimes one are like my go-to pods for football.
Heard it here first. The point being, Pro Football Focus is like some of their ratings are just kind of like dubious.
I mean, and they acknowledge it too. Like it's hard.
I don't put too much stock in a PFF rating. Like if a guy is consistently all season long rated a top player, then like sure. But as you just said, Drew Brees' last 3 weeks has been their highest graded quarterback. Like that means something.
Yeah, no, I will. It's the same thing as when we were talking about the NBA Finals. Like a plus minus through the first 4 games. Like you can't make a whole. It's not a sample size that's big enough, but it indicates trends.
Yeah, exactly.
Panthers defense a little better than we expected it to be. Still not great. Chicago +4. This is interesting. I don't really know which way to go. I still think the Saints win this game. The Bears are. I'm not.
Weather in Chicago is supposed to be like literally.
I think that's. I think that is part of the game where like in the Northeast, like as Delta, is it Delta, the tropical storm? It's super windy, right? 40 miles an hour.
Windy,
yeah. I like the Saints better than. I like the Saints better than.
But the wind is probably going to be a factor.
Yeah, which does not benefit Chicago, who also might be without Allen Robinson. So I probably
Alvin Kamara if you're a Saints,
that is true.
Player. Probably gonna be feeding wind.
I think we know at this point what Chicago is. Like their offensive line got exposed. I said before against the Rams that they had to protect well on the inside part of their offensive line. Someone like Aaron Donald, if you just think a couple plays, you're just going to go one-on-one. No, you have to have a game plan for him every single play. And the Bears got demolished. Like the score does not indicate how much of a blowout play-wise that game was.
Fair. You take the lead on this one. Bills, Pats.
Yeah. A win for New England. You asked this question. What does a win for New England do? That just proves that they are a team that can disrupt playoffs and that is still capable of sneaking in at the back end of it. Is capable. A win against Buffalo, like both of these teams. Both of these teams, Buffalo. Both of these teams need a win badly. Ben, let me just remind you. I mean, I know you're well aware of this because of the NFC East, but You win your division, you're into the playoffs. If New England can get the tiebreaker over Buffalo and they keep it close, like
whoa.
I'm just saying.
We're talking about a 2-4 team versus a 5-2 team. What do you mean? You can't
Yeah,
talk about the tiebreaker yet.
I'm just saying. It's
Even
important.
If the Pats win, they're still 2 full games behind the Bills.
It's important. The Bills have not been. I'm just saying it's important. Like you asked me what you asked me what a win does.
Do you genuinely expect the Patriots to be anywhere in the conversation for the playoffs?
No, I don't. But what does a win do? It gets them back in that conversation.
What are in all honesty, like, should the Pats be like playing for a playoff spot?
Yeah. Why not?
Because they're bad and they have no realistic shot at making the playoffs?
I mean, you're 8 weeks and you're halfway through the season. Like you don't.
I think it's good.
I think it's early to.
Are the Patriots good?
They're not terrible.
Are they good?
No.
Are they mediocre?
Yes. They're a mediocre team. They're a mediocre team. They're a play away from beating the
33-6 to an injury depleted Niners team.
I still think they're a mediocre team.
I don't think they're even mediocre, Matias. They're not good. I would even say they're bad.
Nah, I don't know.
I'm
not ready to.
But no, that's all I need to tell you. The Pats are worse than the Dolphins right
now. No, they have a worse record than the Dolphins. I'm not ready to say they're worse than the Dolphins.
Ooh, wow. The White Sox just hired Tony La Russa. I was going to get into that.
Oh, we were going to talk about that.
Nice. Yeah.
Since we're just already talking about the Dolphins, just real quick, I know it's a little bit down on our rundown. But I mean, it's Tua's first start. This is part of the reason why I was like, why go away from Fitzpatrick now? Why would you want your first start to be against the Rams? Like,
it's experience. Like, there's no reason for Fitzpatrick to play. It's literally, I was actually reading about it.
I know, but against the Rams,
as when Eli Manning came in 2004 in place of Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
Had the Giants in playoff position for like 6 or 7 weeks, whatever it was.
Yeah, same with the Dolphins.
Kurt Warner's not your quarterback of the future. You have no allegiances to Kurt Warner. You have no reason to keep him in. Same with Fitzpatrick.
I'm just saying, he's
not a franchise icon. He's not a game-changing quarterback. You might as well play Tua. You have no point.
No, I know. It's a rough.
Every time he plays a good team, guess what? There are good teams in the NFL. You got to play them.
No, to make your like starting debut is just a rough game to pick.
That's like
I'm not saying it's the wrong decision. I was like, this is a rough way to start your career.
Sucks, man. They're a good team. The NFL's a hard job.
Really?
What are you gonna like? Seriously, what are you gonna bench your rookie quarterback every time they play a good defense?
Can't.
You're gonna get lit up. He's probably gonna have a pretty shitty game.
Yeah.
It's experience. It's playing in the NFL. Like there's no better teacher than experience, than reps.
Yeah, and it's a bad Miami offensive line. This could be a rough
one.
Next game, Tennessee at Cincinnati. Joe Burrow is fantastic, but Tennessee is a very good football team, and they should cover.
They need to get rid of Gostkowski. He will cost them a playoff win.
You keep saying that, but who do you want them to sign? Tell me who you want them to sign.
Trade for someone. Give up a 7th rounder for a kicker. I don't know. Find someone. Find someone who hasn't missed like 6 field goals this year.
Gostkowski, after missing those like 4 or 5 in that first game, made 9 straight, by the way.
Also missed 4 or 5 in that first game and just cost them a game.
Yeah.
You can find a better kicker. Gostkowski's also been on the decline for like 2 years now.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason he's not on the Patriots anymore. Minnesota at Green Bay. Green Bay favored by 6.5. I would be fine bumping this up to like 9. Up to like 9, honestly.
I don't know about that.
I like them by at least a touchdown. Minnesota's in fire sale mode.
They're blowing it up.
Yeah. Yikes.
All right.
I think next one.
Jets Chiefs.
I don't know what to do about this. 19.5 is the spread.
That's the biggest spread I've ever like personally seen since I understood like what a spread was.
I think so too. I don't know. I can look up biggest NFL spreads.
I don't know what like the biggest spread ever in the NFL is. Like, gotta be top 5. How often do you see a team favored by 3 touchdowns? Almost 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's absurd. And the crazy thing is I'm taking it.
Yeah?
I am, yeah.
Fair.
I don't see how the Jets. I'm like, all right, look at this. Mahomes hasn't had Mahomes has been good the last 2 weeks. He hasn't like popped off. He hasn't had like a Pat Mahomes game.
Mm-hmm.
if there's one team in the league that I would bet like my bank account on Pat Mahomes, like the over on every Pat Mahomes prop bet, it would be against the New York Jets.
Yeah.
I think I'm 45-7. Like, is that an unreasonable score here?
No. Yeah, no.
It really isn't. Like,
it's really not.
My kind of reference point, I was like, all right, if the Niners can beat the Patriots 33-6, that's a blowout.
Yeah.
Can the Chiefs beat the Jets by 20 points?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm taking Chiefs minus 19.5.
I found the biggest spread in NFL history was in 2013, the year that the Broncos were going crazy.
Oh, right.
They were a 28-point home favorite over the Jaguars.
Wow.
That was like Jaguars winning like one or two games a year. I don't know.
Oh, you gotta find out. Come on. Broncos Jags 2015. I'll look it up. I gotta do everything.
Okay. Another one I'm finding. Patriots in 2007, a 20.5 point
What did you say it was? 28?
Favorite. What? 28-point favorite. Yeah, 2013.
35-19 was the final, so they did.
Okay.
Or they did cover. Excuse me.
Hilarious. Just running through the rest. Just a couple storylines I had picked from this too. How many yards is Le'Veon picking up here? They're going to give him some extra carries, right? They have to.
Like, probably. Well, I'd imagine they'll bench Clyde probably like halfway through the second quarter when they're up 30. Yeah. I'd imagine they let Le'Veon cook a little bit.
They're going to scrap. Is anyone going to scrap?
No. What's Le'Veon's like rushing prop?
I don't know. Probably, 30, 40. Can't imagine it's more than that.
No, I don't feel like looking at that right now.
Yeah, fine.
I'd take whatever it is, take the over. That's
yeah.
my advice.
3 games left. We got Chargers. I see LAC. I always want to say Clippers.
Yeah.
Chargers at Denver.
The only thing I'm concerned here is like, is Joe Burrow or is Justin Herbert rookie of the year so far? Honestly, he's my rookie of the year over Joe Burrow right now.
Probably, yeah.
Got more touchdowns, fewer picks. Burrow's got more yards, but in an extra game played. Yeah. And it's close. I mean, Burrow's got like 400 more yards, I think. If Justin Herbert plays an extra game the way Burrow did, we're looking at like 100-yard difference.
Yeah, and I think, as the season, I don't know what their schedules look like, but as the season goes on, like, it's probably more probably leaning Herbert's way.
Also, if you talk like narrative-wise, Justin Herbert was completely thrown into the fire as the starting quarterback and hasn't looked back. Burrow had the whole offseason to prep as the number 1 quarterback.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they even if they knew it was going to happen, like it was going to happen eventually, but maybe not this soon. That's something we had talked about. Like, when do you go that way? And you never want to bench a starting quarterback for an injury, or usually coaches don't. But this one's a real barn burner. Dallas at Philly. Ben DiNucci in a starting quarterback for
pick, I believe.
Yeah, to James fucking Madison.
I look like every time you see teams like draft some random quarterback in like the 6th or 7th round, you're like, all right, like he's never going to see the field. That's just it's like someone's like 14th cousin 12 times removed, and you just want to draft him on the team. I hope Dallas likes Ben DiNucci.
Zeke has been impressed by him, and
Zeke has also been impressed by like any running back who can hold the ball without fumbling.
Yeah, Zeke was, I think, the worst rated running back this week.
I believe it.
Yikes.
See, PFF confirming my own beliefs. Great. Or beautiful organization.
Best.
Accurate ratings.
We have some bets. We can one last game.
Yeah. Wait.
Bucks at Giants. 2 big storylines. Number 1, obviously Brady versus the Giants.
You think he's gonna shake Daniel Jones' hand?
Yeah, he has no beef with Daniel Jones. Is there any? There's no one even left from that team. Like
Zach Diossi. No, Zach Diossi just retired.
Yeah, it was the last guy. I'm assuming he shakes Daniel Jones' hand.
What if the Giants win this game?
Oh my fucking god!
Like literally, we might as well get into our bets. There's no reason the Giants should win this game, other than the fact that the Giants just beat Tom Brady.
Yeah, no, that's literally
That's
it.
the only reason you should ever think the Giants would win this game, and it's like it's not based in any like actuality or fact other than the 2 Super Bowls where the Giants beat Brady.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
like
literally it.
literally every bone in my body wants the Giants plus 10 here.
You doing it?
I'll tell you on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, haven't locked. We're throwing out our bets for the week, and then we're locking them in on Sunday. We didn't get a video out last Sunday. Our apologies. I was in the middle of a move, so
I woke up at like 12:45.
Yeah. So, some of them that I've kind of looked at right now.
We never like. I feel like we've done this twice now. We're like, yeah, let's
do it.
Let's do the Sunday video, and then at like 12:30, one of us texts the others like, "So what are your bets?"
So can you do it? I'm really mad I didn't get to do it though, because I went 4-0 in my bets, I think, and I went 12-2 in my picks. I have a 77-26 record this season. Pretty happy with that, honestly.
Actually, damn.
Pretty happy with that.
Shit.
My bets that I kind of looked at, Panthers -2.
All tentative here. All tentative.
Yeah. Panthers, at least what jumped off the board. Panthers -2, Packers -6.5. A little bit, yeah, but I still think the Panthers are a good team. I'd pick them by a field goal. Packers -6.5, Colts -3. I'm kind of steering away from the Bears after we check the wind. And I do like the Titans minus. I think it's now 6.5. I still like the Titans.
-6, yeah. Tentatively right now, I saw them at -4 actually. Versus
that might have been what it opened at. But I
literally looked at like today.
I had thought I'd seen DraftKings. I've been looking at DraftKings
now.
Yeah. I'll confirm with you for DraftKings.
We'll figure it out on Sunday.
Yeah.
Titans -4, Titans -6. I like either of those, honestly.
Yeah. Titans are good. Jaguars. Titans are not.
I'll lock this one in. Chiefs -20.5 or whatever the line is on Sunday. Chiefs minus a fucking lot I'll take that.
What would be like the point where you don't pick them anymore?
Like 28. Like even that, like I literally just want to take it because it's like so absurd.
I think like 20, like 25. I'm like, I'm out.
I think everyone and their mother is expecting a Chiefs blowout here. It's just a matter of like,
by how much? Like how much is an embarrassment?
Fucking clapped.
Yeah.
I got tentatively Steelers +5.5. That game reeks of someone hitting a game-winning field goal.
Yeah. I had seen Baltimore -4.
I'd probably put the money line. I'd probably take the Ravens, but I like the Steelers to cover it +6, +5.5.
Okay. And real quick, power rankings. I'll start. We both had
the same top two.
Steelers 1, Chiefs 2. Undeniable, Steelers are 1.
Can't not have the Steelers at 1.
And then everyone else basically has a 5-0 record besides the Bucs, so you had snuck in there.
The Bucs win over the Packers a couple of weeks ago really is weighing on me, and then Brady popping off again last week moves them to 5 for me,
and then bumps the Titans out for you, which I know your good friend Nolan.
The Titans at 3, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a matter of like great second half, miserable first half. Like, what do you weigh more?
I weigh the fact that they
second half more.
I weigh the fact that they made it a game at the end and that they lost to, the only undefeated team left. I mean, the Packers lost to a very good team. That's why I have the Packers at 4 and Seahawks at 5, because they both lost to good teams. I just think that the Bucs are a better team than the Cardinals.
What it literally almost comes down to the AJ Brown like 70 whatever yard touchdown for me. How the hell did AJ Brown score? Like he literally took a drag route 80 yards to the crib. Like that's obviously AJ Brown's
on my bench.
Yup.
I know. I started him.
Did you?
Yeah. I still lost though.
But yeah, my power. I got Steelers, Chiefs, Seahawks at 3. Just lost to the Cardinals, obviously. But I think they looked a lot better in a loss than the Titans did. We've both got the Packers at 4, and then I've got the Bucs at 5. You've got the Hawks at 5.
Yeah, I have the Bucs right behind them.
Again, it's 20 for all of our topics, and we're now an hour 15 in and haven't even mentioned the NBA.
Low key. Do you realize that we're an hour 15 in and our live is not expired? I guess it's a new Instagram update.
Oh, Instagram. My
Yeah. The next thing now, you got to add a third person to it.
Facto. Maybe they did, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe.
I can't add because you're hosting.
Yeah, I can say invite to join. So.
Yo, y'all hear this?
Interesting. Oh, that's gonna be dangerous. Nolan's just gonna be spamming like, "Let me join, let me join."
Well, no, Josh is gonna be fucking spamming too. Josh literally texts me every time. There it is. Yeah. So, all right.
All right. NBA talk.
Thank God we got NBA to talk about again. It's been so long since we talked any basketball. What are the guys that dribbling around doing? They got nothing to talk about.
No, they're doing just whack rankings. Go check out. Yeah, that's a nice pod from a couple of our friends from Ithaca. Got two good rankings from Dane and from Jaden, and then Connor, I think, had the Clippers out of the rankings, I believe.
Did he?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It was something whack like that. Wow. Or the Bucks out. I don't know. I really like the moves that Philly is making. They had they fired Brett Brown. They were kind of treading water. They bring in Daryl Morey as the president of basketball. What? Yeah.
That's a polite way to put it.
Bring in Daryl Morey as the president of basketball operations. Doc Rivers, their new head coach. Sam Cassell following him was a good. He's highly.
He looks like ET. I can't.
Yeah. You say it every time
because he looks like ET.
He's so rude.
Man, literally looks like an alien.
Oh, he's so rude, bro.
I'm not wrong.
Sam Cassell, highly regarded as a really good assistant coach, was getting some head coach looks. Here's my thing on Daryl Morey, right?
Okay.
He ultimately, it did not work out in Houston. Their ultimate goal, right? We talk about he was successful, but ultimately did not win a NBA championship, which is always the goal.
Didn't even get to the finals.
It was a hamstring away from getting to the finals. Now, do I like this move? Absolutely, because the guy is a visionary, and it brings up the
a visionary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you not call him
a visionary?
I mean, dude, he look at the lineup. A visionary doesn't mean it has to be successful. It doesn't mean it has to be successful.
I disagree with you, but that's a statement right there.
Dude, he has completely changed like basketball in terms of small ball and things like that.
I got a question for you, actually.
Small ball and GM moves.
Who's been more influential in the last 7 years in the NBA? Daryl Morey or Steph Curry? It's completely off the dome.
Steph Curry. 100%.
So is Steph Curry a visionary? Is Steve Kerr a visionary? Yeah,
Steve Kerr is absolutely. But also, he had a 73-win team and then added Kevin Durant. So make of that what you will.
It's not Steve Kerr's fault.
I know it's not, but
Kevin Durant, you want to play for us? We're good, actually. We don't want you.
I mean, but yeah, you can call him a visionary, but he's literally never been a lineup so stacked. I really like the move because say what you will about Daryl Morey, like he made the moves necessary to get his team in the best position. Ultimately, it didn't work out.
I think realistically, I put at least more of the blame for the Rockets on D'Antoni.
Yeah, but what you can say about Daryl Morey is that he does everything he can to empower his superstars and to put them in the best positions possible. Yeah, correct?
Absolutely.
That's why I don't know if they're gonna. I know you don't think
Embiid. We're still going live on Instagram. I love this.
Yeah,
this is
right.
Huge day for SFS.
Huge, and of course the day that I went live. So I think it's just gonna save to my profile.
Yep.
You think that Simmons and Embiid can't play together. I
know that they can't play together.
Yeah, I have 1 foot. I have 1 foot in that boat. I have 1 foot out of it.
Where's the other foot? Is it in the water? Or is it
no, it's on the dock. It's on the dock.
Okay.
It's on the dock rivers.
Nice.
That's
what you guys come for, right?
If someone can figure this out from a basketball operation standpoint, it's Daryl Morey.
I don't think there is a way to figure this out.
If someone can. That's why I like the move.
There is a way to figure it out. It's called put Ben Simmons in an electric chair until he figures out how to shoot threes.
Well, you need to, I will say,
fire this man's brain to figure out how to shoot a three.
I will say there's a big difference for Daryl Morey and his 3-point revolution, right? You talk about being a visionary. There's a big difference between having 5 people on the court that can shoot threes, which is what we saw at the end, but also knowing how to generate a lot of threes. And since coming in the league, can you tell me, since Ben Simmons came in the league, can you tell me the player that has generated more 3-pointers than Mr. Ben Simmons?
No one.
No one. That's why, and a part of it too is that Embiid is not that good of a shooter either. He shot like
the opposite.
He shot like 34% from deep, and he can't pass. I know. I'm saying they got to figure something out. But
has he generated more threes than anyone?
No,
yeah, you're right.
He has. Yeah.
You're killing me.
No.
Are the Sixers entirely flawed in their roster right now? Also, yes.
Also true.
You can't, in today's NBA, you can't have 2 non-shooters on the floor if you want to win it. You can look at the Knicks; they can do it. If you want to be a good team, if you want to have like aspirations at winning a title, you can't have 2 non-shooters on the floor, and especially you can't have a guy who like literally does not shoot threes handling.
What about Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo?
At least Jimmy will like shoot threes. I mean,
dude, Jimmy shot under 32% from 3.
One of those teams was in the NBA Finals this year. Just took the Lakers to 6 games.
Yeah.
The other was not.
The other got swept in the first round.
Yeah. Like, I get what you're saying about Ben Simmons, like, creating more threes than anyone, but, like, obviously there are issues with that roster.
Yes.
Like, major issues.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of them has got to be gone.
Well, I think this is the last hurrah because you bring in a new president of basketball operations. You bring in a new head coach. Like, if it doesn't work midway through the season, I don't think this roster's the same. Like, if they haven't shown promise that they can win or take a step forward.
So you saw, like, the Ringer published 2 articles about Morey and everything?
Yeah, I didn't read either of them.
Slacking, first of all.
Sorry. I started training for work yesterday. It was a big day for me.
Can't read? I mean, you can't read.
No, I can't read.
I forget which article it was in, but they were talking about, like, this off season is probably gonna be very low movement just because no one even knows when the season's gonna start yet. So it's like,
yeah, we'll talk about that next.
Possible that the Sixers just run with what they have because you don't. Basically, what the article was saying was like some teams might be hesitant to really blow things up this off season when there's so much uncertainty still. And
with the shortened season,
I'll stand by it. I don't think there's any way you can keep Simmons and Embiid on the same team.
Well,
a hill I will die on right there. You can't keep them on the same team.
That's not that. That's like a little mound at this point, honestly.
Still dying on it.
Yeah. It's almost like a combination of having a point guard that can penetrate but can't shoot from 3, and then having a big who can't shoot from 3 and isn't a good passer is bad.
And I guess the question is, all right, assuming you're trading one of them for the sake of this hypothetical, who are you trading? You're getting a haul for either of them, which is the interesting thing.
I think if Embiid still, if Simmons still can't shoot, I probably am more. I'm saying if this season he still can't shoot.
Spoiler alert, it's not going to be an if.
Okay, I'm just saying. If he still can't shoot and you got to trade one of them, I probably trade Simmons.
Do you have any faith in his ability to like suddenly learn how to shoot?
At no point did I say I have any faith in him. I still think you could probably get a bigger haul for. You can get a bigger haul for Simmons.
I think you can get a bigger haul for Embiid, honestly.
I don't know. Simmons has been less injured.
In like a Nikola Jokic type situation where he's like the clear, like, and Jamal Murray, not so clear anymore, but it's similar with like the offense kind of runs through Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's possible. You line him up in a situation where he's surrounded by 4 shooters. And both Simmons and Embiid need the same thing around them, which is why they don't work together.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Sixers roster was flawed after Simmons went down, especially. But in the playoffs, Embiid put up 30 points and his team sucked. So they didn't really get him anywhere.
But the Sixers also have other roster issues, like the $70 million or whatever it is they're paying Tobias Harris and Al Horford, who are Horford's 34 now, I think.
Yeah.
He
still can be. Still can
good,
be a
but are you really paying a 34, turning 35-year-old Al Horford $30+ million a year?
Not good.
Bench?
Not good. It's almost like the Sixers have completely blown it. You got any faith this is going to work out?
If they trade one of them, I'm willing to give Daryl Morey the benefit of the doubt here. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, the interesting thing is you've got like, if you trade either one of them, you can get some pretty interesting pieces back. Like they're both very talented players.
And you could probably dump either Tobias Harris or Al Horford's roster. Like their
maybe
contract.
just by the way, for the sake of the way the roster's constructed, you trade Embiid because then you can play Horford at the 5.
I'd rather get
him 30. If I'm paying Al Horford $34 million a year, I would be much happier if he was starting for me than coming off the bench.
Yeah, but I'd rather ship off, like, if you're saying, like, would you rather ship off like Embiid and Tobias Harris in a roster dump, or like Horford and Simmons? I'd rather ship off.
Horford's like borderline untradeable.
No, hey, all I'm saying is like
who's paying Al Horford $34 million?
You look at a team like New York has already said that they want bad contracts to get draft picks.
Yeah, but the Knicks also have no assets to give up for a guy like Horford. You're
right. But at that point, it becomes more of a dump from the Sixers' point of view. The onus is more on the Sixers to give things up than the Knicks. I'm not saying the Spurs would do it.
Wants to like delete Al Horford from their books. They're gonna want, and presumably they're gonna want like some assets back.
Yeah. No, I mean, yes, but again, when the main
moving RJ Barrett for Al
Horford, when the main focus
moving for Al Horford.
Well, I'm saying if you do things to make the salary work out, and the Knicks end up moving like Julius Randle, Kevin Knox.
Well, that wouldn't work. They can't.
No, I'm just
Randle wouldn't work at all because you're paying Randle a shit bucket of money too.
No, I know if you have to balance it out, but Randle's on a 1-year deal. No, he's signed. No, he's a multi-year deal.
No, I was saying Philly. Why would Philly move 1/3?
No, I know, yeah. No, because I thought because Randle's not on an expiring deal. He's like the only one that's not. But I'm saying if you package like, I don't know, Knox and like, I don't know, some other young guys.
I don't want to play the trade machine game. Like,
we'll play that enough in like a week. We'll play that in like a week. Yeah. Last thing before we move on to and start wrapping up the show, which is you're making a bigger deal than I am.
Well, you'll see my points here in a minute. Yeah. Silas.
Yeah.
Is it Silas?
I think it's Silas. Not much known about him. Apparently is a good hire. You never really know
for this first time. All we know is the first time head coach, which always makes me a little bit nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so intrigued to see what Houston ends up doing.
I mean,
all of the front office, complete new head coach, obviously. Like, I feel like Russ has got to be gone.
You want to talk about like unmovable contracts?
I'd say he's right in the same boat as Al Horford.
I'd say that's
like a starter.
I don't know who you'd rather have there, honestly. Like,
I don't know, but like I've spent plenty of time bashing Russell Westbrook on this show. He is not a championship caliber player. He's not capable.
I'd probably rather have Al Horford than Russell. Yeah, I'd rather have Al Horford than Russell Westbrook at this point. I think Al Horford can be a piece on a championship team. Got to build it right around him. I don't think Westbrook.
I think Westbrook could be a bigger piece hypothetically on a championship team. But Al Horford.
You talk about how high the highs are,
Probably happier with Al Horford on your team ultimately, even if he's not playing as big a role. It just becomes a value question.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're talking pure hypotheticals here.
Yeah. Well, we're getting some notifications here about Mr. Tony La Russa.
Yeah, I was going to get into that.
Right before we move on.
Bashing Russell Westbrook.
I'm not. The NBA looking at December 22nd for a start date. I saw a hilarious TikTok that was literally just the Heat and Lakers getting ready for next season. It's just them jumping into bed and immediately just popping right back up. It's crazy. You get them like a month and a half off. They have the NBA draft on November 18th. Free agency will start 2 days later. Players want MLK Day as the start date. I don't blame it. I don't blame them.
I think you gotta wait till after.
Yeah.
Like after. That'd be absurd. You saw.
Go
Who was saying it, but someone was like, "Yeah, if we start in December, LeBron's not playing the first."
Danny Green said it. Yeah.
Was it Danny? Okay.
Yeah. Michelle Roberts, the NBA Player Association president, said they're not rushing it. Players really not happy with it, which is fair.
It's going to be weird either way. Like, it's not going to be ideal.
I mean, the NBA just wants to do everything possible. They're in a weird spot because they want to do everything possible to like conserve the next season and make sure that's fine. While kind of admitting that this one's going to be weird, but they also want to end in time for players to be able to play in the Olympics. And
I forgot about that. Wow, actually,
whole big deal. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of players that want to play in the Olympics. You got to be done by like June, July.
And then wow.
They're probably
over right now.
Yeah, they're probably looking at like a 70-ish game season. God knows what's gonna happen.
Well, they've been talking about going to like a 72 for a while, right?
Yeah. Next week we're gonna be able to do our we're gonna get more into draft stuff as we get closer and closer. Draft's about
we're gonna talk about
2.5 weeks away.
Which guy the Knicks are gonna ruin. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Kira Lewis, maybe. Next one. Ben really wants to talk about de Blasio trying to block Cohen from buying the Mets. Look.
You look.
But this is my team. Let me talk about it.
I said look first.
No, I said look first.
I absolutely said look
anyway,
first. No, who said look first? Who said look first? Tell me.
All right, look.
The
article.
Just know what shirt I'm wearing.
The article that came out from the Post about de Blasio trying to block it is comments from a month ago. This is not new. It didn't contain anything new that we didn't already know, and that it's really just de Blasio, who no one likes. By the way, if you don't live in New York and you don't know much, no one likes Bill de Blasio. It's really impressive. It's him just trying to stick his nose where it doesn't belong, as per usual, and get in with billionaires. There is a clause when you sell the Mets that
he's not
because it is on City Park.
Exactly. He's just doing their due diligence.
Yeah. They're doing their due diligence because they're allowed to, because it's on like City Park grounds. Which is but there's no reason to. And in the article, it literally says like if de Blasio tries to do anything and it comes down to him because the owners have approved it, Cohen's going to sue and Cohen's going to win because there is no reason. It's just going to come down to
actually ends up being able to block the sale.
But
that said,
it is just
the fucking Mets, man. Oh my God.
Well, it's only fair too.
Gonna get into this. Literally, there is no other professional sports team that is this like cursed when it comes to literally anything.
It's only fair too, right? That like you think about like the Dodgers, COVID at the end. Justin Turner played for the Mets. Mets said, "I want to have the last laugh." Like it's only
the Mets
fucking
can
right.
Get themselves like wrapped up in all of this. Literally,
I'm not too concerned, but it's just literally fucking
classic. There's no reason Steve Cohen won't buy the Mets. That said, what other professional sports organization? I'm not even talking just baseball. I'm talking like the entire world of sports.
The Knicks.
Because Dolan would never even consider selling the team. They wouldn't get involved in any of this.
Yeah, right. You just ban like a team legend from entering the arena again.
Look, that's different than literally the mayor of New York City trying to block this guy from buying the team.
No, because I feel like if it was a similar thing with de Blasio, like
the Knicks are stupid. There's a difference. The Knicks are stupid.
No, you know de Blasio's bum ass. If something was happening with the Knicks, that he was allowed to look at it and stuff. I doubt there's a clause in there. It's
all Dolan.
Yeah, no, his bum ass would be doing something like this too with the Knicks. Like
no, because de Blasio would want the Knicks. Everyone wants the Knicks to get sold.
Everyone wants the Mets to get sold too.
They got sold. Like the Mets are going to be sold to Steve Cohen. It's inevitable.
No, I know, but you're looking at like I'm saying if it was the similar situation with the Knicks and the Mets, and you talk about this just being a Mets thing, like it's such a Knicks thing too.
The only way James Dolan sells the team is if like literally a group of Knicks fans like hold him at gunpoint.
All I'm saying is that you're saying this is like classic Mets. This would be classic Knicks too.
I think the issue is that the Knicks are just stupid. On court, off court, ownership. The Knicks are just dumb.
Mm-hmm.
The Mets are cursed. The Mets have been cursed. Are the Mets not cursed?
No, absolutely. I'm trying to think if the Knicks are cursed too.
They're not. They're just dumb.
No, they might just be dumb.
Dumb and like
that's
generally
worse,
bad
honestly.
at basketball. Well, yeah, because at least this is like the powers that be are like, all right, fuck the Mets. The Knicks are just bad at basketball. James Dolan's bad at owning a team. The Knicks are bad at running a team. Like, It's just ineptitude more than it is like a curse. Ineptitude theoretically you can turn around.
Yeah.
How do you like get a curse off of you? Like
fucking Lil B.
I don't know. Sage.
Yeah, we got to talk to Lil B.
To Lil B.
Yeah.
Oh, true. I was like, what?
Yeah. I can't have any base god curse on me.
I don't think it's base god curse. Someone has cursed the Mets.
Yeah.
Gordon Adolf? The Wilpons?
It's just the Wilpons being terrible human beings.
Cursed the Mets.
Probably Jesus Christ himself, honestly. Like, probably it goes back that far, probably. Last topic we have Tony La Russa to the White Sox ? No longer a question mark. He got hired.
I put that in like. Let's see if I can. I don't want to pause the live video again. I think I got like the first passing tweet about that like this morning.
Yeah.
And then I like put
it had been discussed. It had been discussed last week.
But like it's serious when you get like a dedicated Jeff Passan.
Yeah.
Apparently it's. I don't have. I just closed out on my rundown. Whatever.
Nice.
Apparently it's like ruffling feathers with the White Sox organization.
That's exactly what it said. Yeah.
9 years since Tony La Russa managed the baseball team. And it was 2011 Cardinals won the World Series.
He's old. He's
also the first time a manager has gotten elected to the Hall of Fame and returned, which is pretty cool.
It is cool.
An active Hall of Famer is not something you can say every day.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about Joe Guido.
You also got to talk about the fact that I think he's he's going to be the oldest manager in baseball. He's 76 years old. I would think so.
Kind of a baffling move. I have not been able to like read anything about it because it's all been breaking since we've been on the show.
Mm-hmm.
You bring in a 76-year-old manager to manage a team full of like young talent.
Well, when we talked about it,
young talent who definitely is. I don't know what Tony La Russa's mindset is on like let the kids play and like bat flipping and all that stuff. I can't imagine it's like he's all for it.
I mean, look, this is something that we talked about.
Old school, an old guy. He's 76.
When they parted ways with Renteria, like we said, the two things they need to hire for in a manager is ability to manage a bullpen and connect with the young guys. And I'm not saying that Tony La Russa
also general experience.
Yeah. That helps.
Look, bringing in an active Hall of Famer and a guy with multiple rings is generally a good thing.
Yeah. I'm just surprised. I'm seeing a tweet from Bob Nightingale, so make of that what you will. But the White Sox never interviewed AJ Hinch.
Good.
He's the Tigers' number one candidate. He's the Tigers' number one candidate.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you see that?
Bob Nightingale in the tweet. So again, make of that what you will.
Do you have Bob Nightingale tweet notifications on?
No, I just typed in Tony La Russa online and it said that on the Twitter bar. This is a weird move, man. This is a weird move.
I'm not surprised it's not AJ Hinch. You can't bring in a convicted cheater to manage a team full of young guys.
Yeah, no, that's fair. You can bring him in to manage the Tigers because they suck.
I wouldn't even bring him in to manage the Tigers.
Man, we'll see what happens. But yeah, this is a weird move. I mean, Tony La Russa's, again, a Hall of Fame coach. Like
active
won World Series. Like,
how many rings did Tony La Russa have? Did he get the other Cardinals chip, the 06 one? Probably, right?
Probably.
Or no, Matheny got the one in 2011 because it was.
No, he has the one in 2011. 100% he has the one in 2011. He is a 3-time World Series champion. He did manage the White Sox back in like the 70s. He managed them back in the 70s. Let's
You're right. Yeah. Okay.
Jerry Reinsdorf. Reinsdorf. He's
literally that Jerry Reinsdorf. I had to like double check.
At the Bulls. Yep. He said that one of his biggest regrets was firing Tony La Russa back in like the 70s or 80s when he managed.
Whatever it was. Yeah. Hold on. I had the tab pulled up. Where was it?
Yeah.
1979 to 86, he managed the White Sox.
Yeah, and they fired him, and it's one of his biggest regrets. Tony La Russa, again, an all-time manager. Probably not many people, if anyone, knows the game of baseball better than Tony La Russa, but
but
okay, yeah, sorry, my bad.
Even though I probably won't win a World Series.
Sorry to hear that.
Tony La Russa hit $1.99 for his career. What a scrub!
Fucking scrub. Better than I did in JV baseball, 8th grade.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we've reached that portion of the show where we just start babbling.
Yeah. Benny the Butcher album, 30 seconds, go.
Fantastic. Rick Ross feature, awesome. Really like the Freddie Gibbs song. Love the Griselda song with all the fellas on it. I did see this hilarious tweet though, from Benny the Butcher. They were like, I hate when I'm in a strip club and they ask me which one of my records I should play, and I said, just keep on City Girls and let me throw money at these hoes, or something like that. And this guy I follow on Twitter is just like, he's like, man, he's like, this is so facts. Like, if you ask for Benny the Butcher at a strip club, you might not commit a crime there, but you're looking to go back to jail.
Well, I was going to say the Benny the Butcher album gets me fired up.
Yeah.
Before we went on the show.
I don't want to I've never been to a strip club before. Or it's not in my near future plans.
Michelle's not in the live anymore. You can say it.
I'm still not really planning on it unless they got really good wings, I
got to go to Magic City. I need to try those wings.
It's
like I have.
This is a hilarious tweet.
These wings were good enough to bring a man out of quarantine competing for an NBA title. These wings must be flames.
Facts. Ben, I love how we said we were going to do the show for an hour, and it's been an hour 40.
Love it.
Fantastic.
You were the one who texted. Hold up. You texted me.
I'm down to stay on schedule.
Yeah. We say that literally every single week. We're like, let's stay on schedule.
Oh, God. All right. Got anything else, Ben? What'd you think about the album? Did you listen to it?
Oh, I literally just said.
Oh yeah. Want to run through a wall. I think that might make the final cut for like album of the year. Honestly, it's very good.
Nolan's bringing up an interesting point that it might have been the strippers that brought Lou Will to Magic City. I think it was the wings. It was the lemon pepper wings.
I'm gonna vote it was the wings.
It was the wings. Nolan, you are incorrect.
All right. Speaking of that, he's Ben Carlton. I'm Matias Weilmann. You can follow him at Ben_Carlton1. Me, I'm at Matias_Weilmann. You can follow the show Twitter at 2Floor Sports, Instagram at Second Floor Sports. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, and of course, Breaker.
We're not even uploading yet.
You can watch us on YouTube. Watch us anywhere or listen to us anywhere. Give us 5 stars. Let us know what you think.
Mailbag, Nolan. That's what we're not doing. Mailbag.
Yeah, mailbag.
No, we did have a mailbag. Nolan's question. I had texted him. What athlete would look the funniest if they ran like Kyler? We never got to that like 2 weeks ago. And he literally texted me, and he'll kill me if we don't do it. So we got to talk about it now.
What athlete?
The false ending, guys.
What athlete would look the funniest running like Kyler Murray?
Nikola Jokic. End of story.
I want to say like Boban.
Ooh, true.
It's a good one. Imagine he like runs with his arms down like this, like 7'3" Boban.
7'6". Is he 7'3"? Yeah, he's 7'3".
Yeah, Taco is a 7'6", I think.
Yep.
Pablo Sandoval, Prince Fielder.
Ooh, Prince Fielder's a good one.
That'd be funny.
I think generally like just like a giant ass guy. Like
yeah, I'm thinking of just either really tall or just like large.
Vince Wilfork.
That'd be funny.
I might lock in Vince Wilfork.
Like Brock Lesnar.
It's just fun.
Francis Ngannou just running like Kyler.
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about Khabib.
Yeah, well, that was the last show we didn't talk about him.
Yeah, true.
Happy retirement.
Happy. I'm honestly good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him. That's for a good reason.
Do you believe the whole like he switched from an armbar to a triangle?
I don't know. If they say it, I believe it. Like, who am I going to say that?
Is that your mentality these days?
Yeah. At least for UFC, like.
If they say it, I believe it. All right, Matias, I'm 6'4".
No, that's not true.
I'm just using your own logic, man.
No, I said just for UFC. All right, Ben.
Let's get out of here.
I will talk to you on Sunday with our picks, and then we will see you guys on Monday for our next show.